Okay, recording's on, and I think that's a great idea. Let's put down with this little along our spines. Head to tail. And then arms outstretched in a T position, airplane arms, feet aligned and a little bit apart, directly underneath your kneecaps, and then slightly forward, away from your hips towards the edge of your mat. At this point, rock a little bit side to side, drape your body around the curve of the roller. And as you go to one side, you can push the other scapula away from the spine. So we get a little bit of sliding scapular movement laterally away from center. And try to keep the hands grounded here, the back of the hand on the floor. It may slide a little bit, but try to reach away from the movement of your torso to get a deep pull across the shoulder and into the upper arm. And of course, this is massaging out the area by your sacrum, the base of your skull, and particularly the space between the blades. Your head can also tip a little bit away from the direction you're moving towards. And then we can come back to center. So think of spreading your feet and sinking them into the ground like they're falling into deep sand. And then cup the palms like you're holding a ball in each hand. Bring the arms up in a big embrace. And then as you exhale, pull the fingertips apart, elbows move out to the side, and then the arms descend softly to the ground, hopefully landing simultaneously on the floor. And then let's lift the arms again. Deep breath in. And then exhale. Think of pulling the air out of your lungs, out through your mouth, opening the space above you, and with the air leaving your body, push the arms aside and down. And then we bring the arms up again and gather all the air in. So you can take a deep full breath in and exhale it out. Give an extra volume of air, helping the arms descend. And lift again. The blades will widen. They move away from the roller, away from the spine. And then as you pull the arms open, the blades still heavy, sinking down to the ground, and now they wrap around the roller. They embrace the roller underneath you. One more like this. Nice and slow. Feel that slow lift. Hey there. And then pull this open. Nice and slow, nice and easy, soft landing. And now next we lift the arms up and then point the fingers to the ceiling so the arms are parallel with the palms facing in. Just exhale and let the blades sink a little deeper around the roller and let the shoulder blades settle. On the inhale, the hands line up. Reach for the sky, reach for the ceiling. And feel the shoulders curve up around the side of your rib cage. And then the blades sink down. And the arms rise, the chest narrows, the neck widens. And then for the reverse, the collarbones broaden, sink. And lift again. Shrug the shoulders up. This is protraction, the arms moving forward, away from your spine. And then retraction as the blades melt down to the ground behind you. Sinking closer and closer to the roller and plug it in. A couple more inhales, let the arms float as if they're made out of helium, the fingers floating up like balloons into the sky. And then exhale, release and sink the blades down as if your shoulder blades were the sandbags here. And lift again. And exhale, melt the blades down. Now on the inhale, turn the palms forward and exhale, lengthen the arms down your side. Go long. And then inhale, the arms rise up. And exhale back by your ears. The blades slide towards your waist. Try to keep the ribs grounded, no additional arch. And then bring the arms up to the ceiling in unison, parallel. And exhale all the way down and long at your side. We'll do this again. So arms lift. Move relatively slowly, take a deep, slow inhale and a long, slow exhale as the arms go from the apex down towards the floor behind you. With the stretch in your chest wall. And then bring the arms forward. Feel how heavy they are as you drag them off the ground. And then exhale, try to resist getting pulled by gravity faster and faster and faster, slow it down as the arms descend. So we'll do that again. Really feel the arms push the cool air away from you. And then lift. So if the air was compressed, kind of push the arms forward and then let them descend and fall forward with control. One more of these. Arms rise in unison. Mirror images right to left. Exhale, the ribs are still engaged down as the arms go back. And then reverse direction, arms lift, super slow, feel that effort. And then take the effort to prevent them just falling forward faster and faster into gravity. You keep the pace slow. And here we'll bring the hands to the shoulders, elbows pull in and then up. Then exhale, go wide, out, around, and down. Circling the elbows here. Again, the arms doing the same thing, but mirror images. And really shrug the shoulders. So the blades are going to lift, and then as the elbows go wide, they narrow in, and then they drop close to the floor as the elbows go down. Really shrug your shoulders, get as much movement here into the neck and the upper back as possible. Equal weight with feet, keep your eyes open for the help of a focal point above you. And then finish this and reverse. Go down, go wide. Circle the arms back. You might feel that stretch into the armpit, into the upper inner arm, all the way around and down. And you get a nice deep tissue massage at the space between your blades, at the edges of your shoulder blades, and into the neck when you do this. Every circle is a short, deep inhale, and then a long exhale to relax the body and calm our nervous systems down. One last one. Throw the elbows open and then narrow them in to end up with the arms at your side. To lengthen the arms forward. And here we go for forward circles. The arms go up to the sky and then back by your ears. And then sweep the arms out in your snow angel position. Spread the palms open, reach long through the fingertips. When the arms are parallel to your torso to the roller, turn the palms down and do it again. So the arms lift and descend slowly. Reach. Exhale around and forward. Cut through the air with the edges of your arms and the edges of your hips. Palms down to lift again. Reach up and push back. Circle around and forward. Reach long. Palms down and do it again. And here, let's reverse. Palms up and circle out. Reach back, press. Exhale, dive forward and down. Palms up to circle around and back. And exhale, forward, lengthen out through your fingertips. Bring the arms down your side. Palms up to reach back and around. Big exhale. And then one last one here. Stretching your arms, stretching your waist, pushing the air to the floor. All right. Diamond arms, so elbows out, thumbs together, index fingers together. And then swing the shape back. The collarbones roll backwards inside your chest to bring the arms behind you. And exhale, the collarbones roll forward. Like press into the hands, left to right, right to left to feel some inner arm engagement. And get that work in right under the chest wall, right at the top of the lower ribs. So we inhale to bring the arms back. And exhale forward. Feel the body yawn open to the ceiling and then knit the ribs together as the arms descend. One more inhale to sweep the arms back. Pause, lengthen, press hand to hand. Exhale, engage the abdominals and the arms swing forward and down. All right, let's slide on off of this. And we'll do some hip release next. So we'll take the across the mat and your legs. And then roll back. The feet are grounded and we can bridge up here. Big press of the arms. You lift your hips and you slide the roller in across that widest part of your hips, right at the sacrum. So there's bony support there for the roller. And then the elbows can go wide. You're pulling the hands towards the shoulder in order to feel that the roller won't slip away and slide out from underneath your hips. So inhale, the right leg comes up, exhale the left one. I will just lift the leg straight up to the ceiling. Yawn, open the knees, and then bring the right leg back over your right shoulder, the left leg forward, out over the rest of the mat. So you want to have soft toes, wiggle them a little bit. And then inhale, switch the legs, take your time. They glide past each other in opposite directions. And then we exhale to switch again. Each leg has its own path, its own journey, right? But they're headed in opposite directions each time. And the breath sets your rhythm. Soft toes, so picture the air flowing through the toes, teasing them open, keeping them soft. So it is a gentle point, not a really hard one. And maybe a little pause at the end range, so you can really like notice the stretch, feel it, and maybe intensify it just slightly. So we'll switch. And then switch again. And then bring both legs up to the ceiling. First they're in parallel, now exhale, rotate, heels together, toes apart. Leave the left leg where it is and the right leg slides sideways, out and down the hill. And really press into the roller, try to prevent your hips from tipping towards the weight of that right leg. And then exhale, use your upper inner thigh and part of the pelvic floor to bring the leg back up to the top, to the ceiling. Once you click in, the right leg is vertical, the left leg moves sideways, soft point. And try to put more weight into your right hip. Exhale, the inner thigh you just stretched up works to pick the leg out. At that same slow pace as the descent. Heels together, and now the right leg takes its time, its turn. Do it out to the side wall and down towards the ground. Push down into the roller with your arms, lift that right leg up. They close at the top and the left leg goes sideways. Drag it open. So you're going to work the muscles as you descend, if you do it slowly, and don't just drop into gravity. And then you're going to really work them on the way up as they lift against gravity. All right, now feet in parallel. And let's do bicycle here. So pull one knee in and the other leg reaches out and then down and wall. The toes touch the floor, the knee might bend, skate it in, and the other one's going out of the way. Be sure you get to the place where the leg straightens as it's descending. And you're thinking of the feet pretty much staying 180 degrees away from each other as they travel along the circumference of the circle you're drawing in the air. If you're in any doubt, just reach a little further out through the third metatarsal. Stretch the leg away from you to get that hip to open and the psoas muscle to stretch. And then when you're at a good point, you can pause and then reverse. So you skate one leg forward, reach it low, stretch it out, and pick it up. Pick it up as the other one descends. And always make the effort so the foot fall back over the shoulder, over the chest wall, so you get the stretch into the hamstring on the leg as it lifts up again. Right, and then from here, both legs up. Exhale, rotate heels together and frog in, bring the heels towards your tail. And the knees now are just the width of your hips, push the legs away on the inhale, and exhale, frog back in. So you want a strong heel connection, so you feel that work all the way up through the inner thighs, in towards the lower abdominals. The angle should be sustainable, right? So you don't take it so low that the back arches and feels uncomfortable, but you do want to sort of be near the edge of the movement that works for your body this morning, this afternoon, whatever time you're watching this, and then push it away. Do one more. So you want to go full length with the legs, take it higher if it's too much for your back, bring it lower if it's not enough for your abs. And then bring the knees together. We're lowering the feet down. When the heels are grounded, legs in parallel, lift your hips and just rotate the roller underneath you. So now your sacrum rests on a different part of it, like a fresher spot. And at this point, we'll slide the right leg forward. Looking for that stretch across the front of the hip. That may be a lot, in which case you can either bend the right knee or pull the left knee in to your chest, while you stretch the right leg further out. And if that isn't needed, of course, just rest the foot back down. The whole foot ground and the knee bent. And here, bring the right arm back by your ear. So now you get that stretch in the deep right front of your body. Try to picture everything that is supported, sinking into that surface, and everything else falling down towards the ground. We'll take one more very deep inhale, and then a long, slow exhale. So we're not just stretching the muscles, we're giving the connective tissue some time to really deform and open up. And then the arm moves forward, the foot slides back in. Should feel very different already on the right versus the left side. And then stretch the left leg forward, open up the front of the hip, lift the left arm and bring that back. And again, you can bend the left knee and or you can pull the right knee into your chest if the stretch is too much for you. And you'll know when you feel it, right? So nice stretch across the top of the hip and the thigh. That's working for you. If the back feels crunched and cranky, that's not. So at that point, you either limit the range of motion or you could adjust the roller to see if it's just in the wrong spot. So with every breath, you think inhale to stretch away from center, and then with every exhale, the weight of gravity pulls you down, opens up the hip a little bit more. All right, and then the arms forward, both knees pull in, pull the tail up a little bit, sink the belly into the spine. Hold the roller, pull it towards your armpits, and just rock the knees a little side to side here. Push down with the arm before you pull the knee up. Your head can turn and look away from the knees. All right, and then we'll lower the feet down, lift the hips, and take the roller out to the side. So here, let's move right into the ab series. So if you feel like you want a little bit more curve, just like a curve up with the torso, you can either use the roller like behind you or a ball. If you have a ball, that's also a really good choice. So you could come back and you take it right near the base of the scapula, curl the tail up and sink the waist down. So this gives you a really high position for your upper curl to begin with. And you might just try it, see how that is. Also think of pulling the waist back, almost like you're trying to slide the back of your leggings off of you and give yourself a little traction here into that sacral area. Right. This is a great place for people who don't have a lot of flexibility to come up high with the head in an upper curl, or also for people who don't have the ab strength at the moment to support themselves up. But you can pull the elbows down and in. And let's just start here. Pull the right leg into your chest. We'll bring the right hand to the shin above the ankle, the left hand below the knee. Extend the left leg out sort of long. And the elbows are forward and you're looking down the whole time. Inhale, switch the legs. And exhale, switch again. Now, this might not be challenging for all of you. So we're going to go into one more of these. And then you have the option of taking the roller out from under you to continue the series. If you like it, if it feels good, it does give you a really nice stretch into the sacral area. All right, so let's roll back. If you are choosing to, just do a couple more sets here. Right leg pulls in tight, head is high, switch your legs. Push up with the shin, down with the arms, and switch again. Then you pull it tight if you can. And then we'll pull both knees into your chest, squeeze the legs together. Push up with the shins into the hands, pull down with the arms, and lift your chest higher. Inhale, arms and legs lift with the ceiling. Double leg stretch, circle the arms wide as you embrace the legs in. And try to keep curling up away from the ground. So you reach up. Easiest if the arms and legs are practically vertical. More difficult if the arms go back further, the legs go out further, opening the shape. You want to see if you can find the sweet spot where the arms and legs give you some challenge for your core without dropping your head back down towards the ground. Remember, your gaze stays fixed low, and you embrace it in. And you can choose a different height, a different angle of the arms and legs each time. All that is good. Once you're back in, roll forward and up. Feet round. Open your knees and drop your head down and nod your head, saying yes. And then saying no. Stack your spine up, knees back together. And we roll back for scissors. So we curl back. Your arms can go forward. Your spine imprints into the mat one vertebra at a time. The tail lifts until you're down at the base of your ribs. And then pull the legs in. And we'll take the right leg up and the left leg forward, soft. Pull that leg in and also try to pull your head and chest up and forward, looking down at the floor on the far side of the room. Inhale, switch the legs here. And exhale, switch again. You can always bend the knee to release tension across the back of the knee. We want to be sure we're feeling the stretch in the center of the muscle, in the belly of the hamstring, and not at the tendons and attachments there. Once you find the lift, try to maintain it from that abdominal wall contraction. We'll do one more set. And of course, you can drop out at any time and do something different, or support your head with your hands. Now, pull the knees in, rock forward again. Because why not use those abs? We formed them up nicely. Okay, so we're going back now for a double leg lower lift. You could, if you wanted, if you have a ball, you can take it between the arches of your feet so that you can squeeze the feet around the ball using your upper inner thighs. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. But we can just roll back to our upright curls. Pull the knees in, support the head with your hands. Pull the head up with the elbows pointing down and into your navel. Extend the legs, either holding the ball, squeezing it, or just pressing the edges of the feet and the inner thighs towards each other. Now from this point, if you have the ball, it's going to be a little more weight than you expect. But we know to be careful with this exercise anyway. Just slide the feet a few inches forward for the increased load in the abdominal wall, and then exhale, drag the feet back up. You can also bend the knees. So you definitely want to be sure that the feet are over the pelvic floor here and not hanging out into space the whole time, because for most of us, that's going to put us into too much extension in the low back. And then reach away.
Just go to where you feel the belly turning up, and you haven't changed your spinal position at all, and then exhale, bring the legs back up to the top. If you decide you need to rest your head, you can do so, but then maybe bend your knees, have a shorter lever and a shorter distance that you move it. And push away. Remember, we're always moving like our limbs away from center to strengthen the core. And then also build awareness of what you feel there, the sensation, and understanding of how much you can support without injury, without damage, just to work it hard and make it stronger. Okay, and then let's pull the knees in and roll forward and up against one more time. Maybe here, take your hands behind you, knees bent, perch on your sits bones, and lift your chest, bring the gaze across the floor and up the wall towards the ceiling. Create an upper back extension. The elbows can bend back and in towards each other to widen the collarbones and lift and expand the heart here. You would think about the lungs going behind it to push the heart up and back. The stretch of your throat should be gentle, so you're not punching the back of your neck. And then release out, zip it up from the pubic bone to the navel, to the ribs, to the chest. The gaze is on the horizon again. One more time. Push the floor down, pull the elbows back behind you, and together, you have the blades slipping behind you towards your tailbone, and the heart rises up. If your ribcage was a slinky, you can pinching it behind your back and expanding it in the front. And then again, start at the bottom, pull the tail slightly forward, shorten the abdominal line, and come back to look ahead. Feel good? Yeah. All right, so the last one in the ab series, we are going back to do the elbow to knee, that twist. So arms forward, try to sit upright on your sits bones, and then curl the tail up and down, and imprint your spine back down towards your upright curl. As you come down, you might pull one knee in, then the other, and support your head with your hands. Pull the head up, the elbows down and in. And here we're going to twist to the right as the left leg goes forward. Twist within the frame of your hips, and then you go to the other side. So armpit comes forward and up towards the inner thigh. We're going to roll across, hopefully the tip of the blades. Try to keep the upper back off of the ground. Let your gaze go forward and down towards the end of your mat. So the head wants to pull forward and give that little extra curve through the abdominals, working hard to lift the spine. I know, doing it slowly is pretty excruciating, right? You can make it as hard as you want to, or not, right? One more set. And then we twist. Come back to center and lay it all down. Let's stretch the arms back, the legs forward, really reach. And then today, let's just do a variation on the roll up here. Oh, sort of warmed up the back. We're going to take the roller across the mat and just take the heel just over the edge. So it's the rollers kind of cupped in by the Achilles tendon. You could definitely do this here with your tail bend. It's much harder to do a roll up with the feet elevated. You don't have the connection of the back of your legs into the ground. Maybe try it once like this and see what you think. Right. So you sit upright, perch on the sits bones, look down into the abdominal wall and tuck, and then try to push the roller away from you as you curve the spine back. The roller is probably going to roll towards you, but keep trying to reach out through your feet, elongating, feeling that stretch. You can come to an upright curl. See what it feels like to have that kind of support. This would be a good place to practice feeling that work in the right muscles, in the right places in the muscles. But now let's continue all the way down. And allow the band to pull your shoulders away from your ears, lengthening your neck. Now, float the head up slightly, look down your nose, tip your nose and your chin towards your chest. Coming up, you can pull into the band and come up very slowly. Good, and then dive forward, think forehead to your knees. bend the knees as you need to, just feel that stretch in your spine. And then we stack all the way up the wall, bottom to top. The head floats up, you lift the head, and then we reach forward with your feet. You get the energy pouring out of the center of each foot, base of the third metatarsal, and then curl the tail up, push this away. Curl the tail up until you get down to the base of the rib cage, all the way down. The head rests gently back, and then we lift again. Big exhale, pull. Yes, really good. Nice work. So hard to keep those feet rounded. Good job. Back over. And then let's take the bed off and just do a stretch here. So it's sort of a figure four stretch. We'll take the right foot off and let the knee go out to the side. Edge of the foot toward the upper inner thigh. And then lift your hips up, swing the tail back, and try to find that you're perched right on your sits bones with a nice vertical torso. All right, so we're going to slightly twist so that you're looking down your knee towards the left foot, hands along the leg, and slide the hands forward as you dive forward and over. So the stretch, bend the knee as you need to. Pull back with your waist and try to drop your right knee towards the floor. Ears between arms, head hangs left. You bend that left knee as you need to feel the stretch in the right place. Again, in the belly of the muscle, not at the tendinous attachment behind the knee or on the sits bone. And then stack your spine as the hands slide up along your leg. Bring your fist down slightly behind you, push down through your fist, lift the chest to a little upper back extension. The elbows pull together to pull the blades together and to expand the front of the body. And release out. And again, once we're on the side, slide the hands forward and long. Stretch out. If you want, you can flex the foot, maybe reach for the toes and pull them back. As you push the heel forward, you'll get more stretch into the cat. Again, if it's too much, then slightly soften that or point the foot. Release the foot, the hands slide up the leg as you stack your spine. And then once more, fist to the mat, push down and lift your chest. We want to do extensions throughout our practice because there's so much flexion in Pilates. We need to do this counter movements. And then come out of it and we'll switch the legs. Maybe just take both forward for a second. Just, oops, here. And see if you can feel the difference in the right versus the left.
In the hip.
In the hip.
Oh, is that where you feel it?
And also maybe in the leg,
Oh,
like it's a little closer to the ground on the left side than it is on the right for me, but everyone will probably feel something different. Yeah, getting nods. So now we're gonna have the right heel across this, extend the leg out. And pull the left leg in. And then let the knee drop down towards the floor. If the side is tight, like this is definitely my tighter side, it would have been clever of me to get a ball and put it underneath here so I can push it down instead of holding it up, but it will work either way. No. Anyway, I'm good here. So we're going to, again, so keep weight on both sits bones and dive the hip forward and down. So stretch it out, reach it up. You're gonna feel that stretch in the low back, probably in your lats as well, and probably also in the back of the leg. And if you're not feeling it enough in the back leg, pull the toes back, reach for it to the heel, and get the calf muscles to stretch also. And then we stack the spine coming up, slide the hands along the leg, fists behind your hips, push down, lift the chest, elbows try to knit together behind your back. Lift the heart, expand the collarbones, lift your eyes. Try to look back at your forehead. And then bring the gaze forward. And we'll do this again, going over and down. Leg forward, stretch it up, yeah. And then again, zip your spine out the wall. The movement of your spine moves the hands. And then fist floor, chest up. Heart high, stretch the abs. We're really stretching that whole line from the jaw all the way to the tailbone. And then release up there. Good. All right. Let's go onto our side for clams. So we'll flip over here. Good. So you can lay on one side. You can either support your head with your hand and pull that bottom elbow in, or you can lay the arm straight out and rest your head on the upper arm. So here we have the heels aligned with the tailbone and the shoulder blades and the back of the head. You can either take your hand directly in front of the chest wall, push it down. At the same time, pull that right elbow in towards the armpit to engage this side line here that's right on top of the mat. Now we're going to spiral the knee open from the hip socket and inhale, rotate the knee up, and exhale, take it down. Guys, very good. So if you really get the work from the hip joint, you're less likely to let the whole pelvic half fall backwards, because often people just rock their hip back in order to pick up the knee really high, and that doesn't really do very much for opening the hip, right? We want to see, can you hold the hip bone in place and then spiral the knee up and then rotate internally and bring it back down. So this would be another option. Instead of having the hand in front of you, you can take it to your hip bone and make sure that stays calm and steady. And if you're really stacking the pelvic girdle here, the left pelvic half over the right, for me, when I'm on my right side, you're going to totally feel that piriformis engagement and the glute engagement. Otherwise, you might not feel it, right? If you tip the pelvis, you might not get the work in your glute. That is really one of the points of the exercise. So now we're going to lift the knee up and then pause there. So the thigh's not going to move, the knee's not going to move, but we're going to straighten the leg from that point. And then bend the knee, and the edges of the feet should go right back together where they started. And then exhale, lower the knee down, close the clam. Close the clam shut. And then pick it up. Hold the pelvis steady on its sideline. Extend the leg, reach out. Very nice. Bend the knee, bring it back. And exhale, close it down. We do it again. Remember, the neck is long. You're trying really not to look after maybe the first time. If you really shouldn't be looking at your foot, you should be looking straight ahead to keep lengthening the neck, front, back, side. And close this. One more. Feel this is like a lot of glute medius also. Extend the legs, stretch. Bend the knee, replace the foot. And exhale, close it down. Now the next variation we're doing, and there's multiple ones in this exercise, but we're going to do fire hydrant. So you keep the hips stacked and then pull the bent knee up and exhale, lower it slowly. So you bring it up here and exhale, lower it down. Now as the knee goes up, the femur head is going in the opposite direction. So the femur head drops down and in, deep in towards the center of the pelvis. And then bring that here. Yes, good. And lift again. This is really strengthening for these lateral muscles in your hip and your leg. Let's go for one more. Watch that your hip doesn't fall back as you lift this up. You could even really practice this with your back against a wall. All right. And then from here, just stretch everything out, lay on your stomach. Overlap your hands and rest your forehead on the back of your hands. And then here, we're just going to shake out the legs, so pick them up off your toes, press down, heels are up, wiggle your legs a little bit.
Okay, and then sit back in a child's pose. Round your back, curve it. Only if your knees feel comfortable with this. You drop your head down low. Forehead to the ground. Feel the stretch. Do you mainly feel the stretch on the left side? Or is that just me?
I'm on the left too.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the exercise, sometimes it's just our patterns kicking in, right? So let's go to the other side. We'll do the clam on leg on the left side to the right. So you can stretch yourself out, you can lay your head on your arm. You want to be sure that the hips are stacked and the feet aligned with the tailbone. All right, so either hands pressed down in front of you, you could take your hand onto your hip and push it long and away, or you can even point your finger into the hip crease to point towards the joint itself. But we're first going to start rotating that top leg externally, lifting it up and rotating the foot on the other foot. Edges of the feet stay together, and then exhale, close that down. Remember, this is a place where we're quite possibly going to want to increase the size of the movement by falling back with the top hip. So that would be cheating, and it wouldn't get you in the right muscles to help you strengthen the lateral side of your leg and your hip. So we're going to pull that up. And it's not intentional cheating. The body just wants to do what's easier to sort of help you out. So pull the knee up, lift it, and exhale slowly down. Again, the work is coming from the crease, just a couple of inches from the pubic symphysis here, between the two pubic bones. So you rotate the leg from that deep joint and then spiral it back down also from there. And if the hips are stacked, you'll definitely feel it into your glute, into the deep six rotators, deeper underneath that muscle. Now let's do one more and then pause when the knee is elevated. And then holding the thigh where it is, straighten the leg. Bend the knee, replace the edges of the feet together, and exhale, close that down. Inhale to open. Exhale and extend. Inhale, bend. And exhale down. One of the goals in Pilates is precision of movement, so that you know where things should be and how you want to move them. You have a plan for the pathway for movement. And then, of course, the plan is that if you do that during your practice, when you're moving and these movements have become like not consciously led, but into the whole body system, then you'll have that same precision, grace, and ability to go to your biggest amounts of strength and flexibility in a controlled way when you're not even thinking about movement. So pick up the knee, extend the legs, stretch it out, bend the knee, replace the edges of the feet, and exhale, lower down. Now fire hydrant, we're going to pick up the knee, lift the leg here, and exhale, bring it back down. This is a big test for the glute med right here, which is the muscle we use to stabilize the pelvis on the leg when we stand on one leg. Really important muscle, not that big, but it's really acts as a way to balance out the pelvis when you're in an unstable position. Lift it here. And bring it back down slowly. You can even imagine that there was like a big TheraBand or a big strap around your leg, and then you try to push into that elastic strap, and then try to prevent it from snapping shut. So you come down slowly, resisting the recoil effect of the elastic, and then push up into it.
and then pull it down. One of my teachers told us that the body doesn't know the difference between reality and really good imagery. And then let's come up to sitting. All right. Here, why don't we do a lovely side bend? So let's take the legs into that Z-sit position. Right. So this would be one of the easier ways to do it, right? With the one knee, well, easy if you don't have a knee issue. If you have a knee issue, just sit with both legs forward. And maybe even have the hips a little elevated if you need that. But this is sort of an open angle here. What we think about in this as the body advances into more side bending and more control through the obliques is that the legs become more stacked. Right. And that also requires that you have more flexibility, like in the sideline here through the hips to the sits bones. But go like anywhere in between there that you want. So it's all good. So we're going to take your hand to the shin that's available, and then bring the other arm up. And then side bend towards that foot. You can look up at the fingertips to bring your head more back in line with the rest of your spine. And then push down through your legs, come upright. Both arms lift, and you try to bring your head up between your fingertips. Very ballerina pose, right? And then extend the other arm down. So the palm is down, but light. You're going to skate out and bend the elbow so that the elbow comes down just slightly forward of your shoulder of your armpit. And as you push down into the hand and that forearm, you're going to lift the waist and ribcage up off the ground in a beautiful arc. And then let the head fall towards the ground. Let your fingers reach and fall towards the floor until you feel a stretch into the lat, into your armpit, into the side of your neck, maybe across your hip. And from here, we're going to push into the palm on the floor, but still find the obliques to drag your body up. Take your hand here to your shin, lift up and side bend over. Now we're trying not to rotate because you'll go further if you rotate the shoulder forward. And that does give a nice diagonal stretch in your back, but right now we're working on your side line. So really be sure you can feel it right on your side seam here. And then maybe press with the legs, press with the bottom arm, lift up, and the arms come up and overhead. And to the side. And take it over and out. Remember, if it's uncomfortable, maybe the wider stance like that would feel easier for your back. And maybe give you more stretch here as you pull the sits bone away from the armpit. And then press to the ground, pull up from your obliques. And lift the arms and side bend over again. One more, coming upright. And we skate out with the hand, rest on the elbow. Drop your head, lift the waist and the ribs here from the top side of your body. And then let's extend that top arm up, look at your hand. So we're going to take it back behind you. Open the chest, scoop the palm like you're holding a ball, and then bring that imaginary ball under your armpit, follow it with your gaze. So we just did thread the needle, right? And then we're going to hold the elbow forward, the hand forward, reach for the far wall, come up to the ceiling, and then open the chest back behind you. There's again that chest opening. And cup the palms, circle around again. Feel here how the space opens between your shoulder blades. You can push your ribs up into that space. That will narrow the chest and broaden the back. And then bring the arms forward and reach back one more time. And feel that pull into the tricep, across the shoulder, into the pecs. Bring your arm up to the ceiling. Drop your head, lift your waist, lift your ribs, lower the arm. Go back into that beautiful side bend position and push the ground away with your bottom arm. Right, got a little lift, good. And then push down to come up and side bend here. At this point, we lift the top arm and pull the other elbow out. Now we're gonna circle in here. And then the hand moves forward and back behind you, open the chest. The gaze follows the fingertips, so you get rotation in the neck and your cervical spine. Cup the palm like you're holding a ball here and then circle. And take it out and back. Definitely this part of the exercise, if like sitting on the ground like this isn't accessible, you can sit on a chair and do this. And then we'll come back to center. Beautiful. Let's switch the legs. Other side. And again, often one side will feel very natural, the other side might feel a little bit more difficult. See if they're even or not. And then we can do like the wider Z sit, or you can have more of a stacked mermaid pose. It all works. And then you hold onto the shin. You lift the other arm up. You try to lift your head up towards your fingertips. And then feel that side bend stretch as you tip your head over, your neck over, open the ribs. Again, if you think about the rib cage as a slinky, it's compressed on one side and it springs open on the other. And then we're going to come upright, sort of balance out the distance on the right and left side of the ribs. Your hand goes down, speed it out, bend the elbow as you descend, but don't collapse into it. Push away from the ground and have that beautiful arc here through your spine. The arm mirrors the length and the curve of your waistline, of your rib cage, all the way to your fingertips. And then push into the arm, start to pull up. And over you go. Dive here. And really, if you feel like it would help you, you can really push down through the sits bone on this long side of your body to get a little bit more stretch from the rib cage down. Pull upright, both arms lift, head rises, neck is long. Take it down and go all the way over. It's framed by your arms. And then pull, push into the ground, lift and come up, and take it over again. And let's come upright, the elbow goes wide, the arm lifts, and then we circle through. Bring the hand forward, out and back, reach back here. Oh, did I not do that laying on the side? We'll go back and do it in a minute. I looked at the clock and I was like, oh, time to end soon. All right, let's see how we're gonna get out of this. So lift the arms, side bend over. Come up, both arms lift, one arm to the ground, take it over again. Okay, and then we'll lift the top arm up and bring it behind you, follow up with your gaze. And then scoop the air coming around and under. Yes, you wouldn't want to miss this. Forward, up and back, open the chest, open the heart, expand the lungs. And then sweep through again. Feel the space open between your blades on your back. And then we're going to open the chest and close that back, narrowing it in. One more time. Up and back, keep looking at your hand, push it away with your gaze. And then bring the arm up, push the ground away, side bend here. And then it's time to come up. I'm gonna try. So come all the way up, arms lift, and then descend. And we still made it. Good, thank you guys so much. You may want to just like extend both legs forward and just take a stretch to even out the two sides right now. So you can have the knees slightly bent or straight, pull the toes back, slide your hands down, suck the waist back, curl the tail forward and up, and let your head hang. So coming back to center after that asymmetrical work. Sigh the air out on the next exhale. And then stack your spine up on the inhale. All right, and we're good for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for doing the class and helping me remember everything we should be doing.